After a period of some real uncertainty, there's some seriously good news coming out of the Philippine economy. The stock market is telling this powerful comeback story, and in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly what that story is and, hey, more importantly, what it means for you. Just take a look at this contrast. It's pretty stark, right? In the middle of last year, the whole mood was full of concern as the market took a nosedive. But wow, fast forward to today, and we are talking about a major rise and a powerful return of confidence. This is what a comeback story looks like. Okay, so how do we get from there to here? Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start by rewinding to those worries back in 2025. Then we'll track the market's amazing rise. We're going to dig into why confidence came roaring back, connect all of it to our daily lives, and finally, look at what it's going to take to keep this good thing going. To really appreciate the comeback, you've got to understand the setback first. So let's hop in our time machine and go back to the middle of last year.
So picture this. It's July 28th, 2025, and during the President's State of the Nation address, there's talk of some serious anomalies in these massive flood control projects. Now, that kind of news sent a shockwave through the investment community. This wasn't just political chatter. It created real doubt, real uncertainty about how things were being run, and investors, well, they got nervous and started to pull back.
But that was then. Let's fast forward now to the incredible turnaround that we're seeing today. Because today, it is a completely different story. The entire mood has shifted, It's gone from anxiety and worry all the way back to optimism. And here it is. This is the hero number. On February 3rd, 2026, the Philippine Stock Exchange Index, the PSEI, closed at 6,401.96. So, what's the big deal about this number? Well, it's not just a statistic. It represents the highest point the market has hit in over 6 months. That is a huge milestone. And this quote just puts it all into perspective. According to RCBC's chief economist Michael Ricafort, this surge didn't just gain back a little bit of ground. No, it completely erased all the losses the market had suffered since last year. It's basically like hitting a giant reset button. So this is the big question, right? How did this happen? What were the key ingredients that flipped the script from so much doubt to this newfound confidence?
Now, what's really fascinating here is that this recovery was fueled by a mix of things happening right here at home and some helpful tailwinds from around the world. Domestically, you had a huge government spending plan, and the market showing real strength by staying above that critical 6,000 level. At the same time, you had positive news from abroad, like U.S. markets doing well and global oil prices coming down, which gave everything an extra push. At the heart of everything we're talking about is one simple but powerful word: Tiwala. It means trust or confidence, and you can almost think of the stock market as a national confidence meter. When that meter is high, it means investors and businesses believe the economy is stable, that it's heading in the right direction, and that makes them feel safe enough to invest, to hire, and to expand.
And here's one of the biggest reasons that meter went up. The Department of Finance announced a massive, and I mean massive, 1.4 trillion peso spending plan for just the first 3 months of 2026. A number like that sends a very clear signal. The government is all in on boosting the economy.
And this growing confidence isn't just a local thing. The international business community is also taking notice. The British Chamber of Commerce, for example, which represents over 320 businesses, they publicly applauded the recovery. They see it as solid proof that the government is focusing on smart economic strategies, and that makes the Philippines a much more attractive place to do business.
Okay, so big numbers and international business groups are interesting, for sure. But let's get down to what really matters. Why should a rising stock market mean anything to you and your family?
The connection is actually pretty direct, like a chain reaction. First, confidence rises, so businesses feel secure enough to grow and invest. Second, as businesses grow, they need to hire more people. Third, more hiring means more job opportunities for everyone. And fourth, more people with stable jobs means stronger, more secure incomes for families. It's a clear path from the trading floor right to the kitchen table. To put it simply, this is not just about abstract numbers on a screen. A rising market is a real, tangible sign that the lifeblood of the economy, money, is flowing again. It's the fuel that creates jobs, supports small businesses, and ultimately helps create a more stable life for all of us. So the comeback has been amazing news, but the story isn't over yet. Now the real work begins.
Let's take a look at what the experts are saying needs to happen to keep this positive momentum rolling.
Experts from groups like the BCCP and RCBC are pointing to a very clear roadmap. They're highlighting key areas for reform, things like digitalization, with new laws for cybersecurity and digital payments to modernize the economy. They're also talking about competitiveness, pushing for legislation like the Blue Economy Act. But the big one, the one that underpins everything else, is governance. They are stressing the absolute need for credible, effective anti-corruption measures to make sure that foundation of investor trust stays rock solid for the long haul.
And this quote just brings it all home, doesn't it? Because at the end of the day, the numbers on the stock exchange are just an indicator. The true measure of success, the real finish line, is the well-being of the people, making sure every single Filipino family has a more stable and prosperous life.
So yes, the recovery has been impressive, and that confidence, that tiwala, is back. The challenge for everyone now is a shared one: to build on this momentum with smart policies and good governance, and to make sure this incredible comeback story turns into a long-term story of lasting progress for everyone.